right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, takeover battle as state legislators argue over taking control of the St. Louis Police Department. What does it mean for taxpayers across the state?
Weather whiplash returns this week, from cold to warm to wet, when the heaviest rain falls and how much you can expect in your backyard.
But first tonight, saying goodbye.
I'm hurt, just like everyone in this room who knew Mason and loved him. But I know where Mason is.
The police officer killed in the line of duty 1 week ago is laid to rest. Hundreds gathered in Owensville, Missouri today to celebrate the life of Detective Sergeant Mason Griffith. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. It was exactly 1 week ago tonight. Griffith was shot and killed while responding to a call at a Casey's gas station in Hermann, Missouri. Our Mercedes McKay shows us how his community is remembering this officer.
Last words I said to Mason were, "I'll talk to you later. I love you, buddy." And he said it back.
Selfless, loyal, a protector. Those are just a few of the many words those mourning Sergeant Mason Griffith described him as.
That's what I believe Mason was put on this earth to do, was to serve. He knew at a young age that's what he wanted to do. Was his calling was to serve and protect. That's what he did every day, with great honor and integrity.
Hundreds gathered inside the Owensville High School gym on Sunday to celebrate a man who spent his short time on earth giving back. At just 34 years old, Griffith was a Gasconade County Sheriff's Department Reserve Deputy, Hermann Police Detective Sergeant, and the Chief of Police in his hometown of Rosebud.
Mason gave selflessly to Rosebud, and now it is our turn. I challenge each of you to live your life like Mason lived his, selflessly.
Not only did Mason impact those he worked side by side with, he even impacted those he was sworn to protect. One woman saying she's sober now because of him.
And Griffith showed up at my house and he called the ambulance and everything for me, and I owe him my life.
The officer was laid to rest at Emmanuel Lutheran Cemetery in Rosebud. His body brought down the street by a horse and carriage, with dozens of law enforcement vehicles leading the way.
I feel that, he was just the best person that was out there.
With the folded up American flag in Griffith's widow's hands, the community swore they'd protect his family, just like he protected this community.
God bless you, Mason. I love you dearly, friend. I'm going to miss you, but we'll take it from here.
In Rosebud, Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
Several people shared memories today they have with Griffith. They said he was a man of many passions, ranging from hunting, Star Wars, to his own faith. Officer Adam Sullentrump was seriously injured in last Sunday's shooting. Tonight, he continues to be treated at Mercy Hospital in Creve Coeur, where he remains in critical condition. Backstoppers is helping both families of Sergeant Griffith and Officer Sullentrump. There are several other fundraisers, and for a full list, all you have to do is text the word HELP to 314-425-5355.
Tonight, the man accused of shooting both officers is sitting in jail. Kenneth Lee Simpson pleaded not guilty to murder and armed criminal action last week. A hearing scheduled for tomorrow was canceled on Friday. The judge appointed the Missouri Attorney General's office as a special prosecutor in the case.
Well, it's a chilly night across St. Louis. It felt more like January this weekend.
Hope is on the horizon, and spring arrives in about 18 hours, not like we're counting. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell here to tell us if it will start feeling like spring. At least we had the sunshine today.
Yeah, it was nice to have the sunshine today. Better than the snow flurries yesterday and that gusty breeze that stuck with us all day long during the day yesterday. But temperatures way below normal for this time of year for sure. This morning we started out right around 20 degrees in the St. Louis area. That was the official low at Lambert. 43 was the high. Those numbers way below average for this time of year, but no records to show you there. We are still cold. Temperatures mostly in the 30s until you start getting into some of the outlying areas. Pacific's down to 26, Mascouta's 29, it's 27 in Edwardsville right now. But you look up to the north and west and you see those temperatures are not that bad. So we will see temperatures moderating over the next couple of days. A quiet cold overnight, bright and warmer tomorrow. But then Tuesday through Friday, wet and breezy and a bit warmer at times. More on that in a few minutes, Ann.
Tonight, police are still searching for the driver who hit and killed a woman in North St. Louis County and drove off. Now, nearly 2 weeks later, her employer is setting up a fundraiser for her family. New tonight, 5 on Your Side's Ryan Henson shows us how you can help this week.
61-year-old Willetta Anderson Watson was killed at the intersection of Florissant and Woodstock Roads while walking to a bus stop on her way to work. Just before 6 in the morning on March 8th, Missouri Highway Patrol says Anderson Watson was hit twice while crossing that road. Now, the first driver stopped to check on the Ferguson grandmother. As she remained on the ground, she was hit again, ultimately killing her. The second driver in a maroon crossover SUV didn't stop and is still wanted by Missouri Highway Patrol.
She was a great person. She was always smiling. It made the back area a lot better while she was working. We nicknamed her Smiley here.
Anderson Watson was a beloved figure at the McDonald's near Lindbergh and I-270. Now her work family wants to help take care of Anderson Watson's real family, who was still grieving her loss.
Her family is a part of our extended McDonald's family, and we wanted to just be there and be as supportive as possible during this trying time.
A half dozen locally owned McDonald's wants to help make it easy for you to help out this family. On Tuesday from 11 to 1, these locations are going to donate 10% of all sales towards Anderson Watson's funeral expenses.
We just want to send our sincerest condolences. She was a dedicated worker, and she'll definitely be missed.
Ryan Henson, 5 on your side.
The family tells 5 on your side they appreciate the support and hope justice will be served. Again, the Missouri Highway Patrol is still looking for the person behind the wheel.
A busy night for St. Louis firefighters in Dutchtown. Tonight they responded to 2 house fires in the South City neighborhood. First fire happened just before 6 p.m. in the 4100 block of Ohio. No reports of injuries, but a dog was found dead in the home. No word yet on a cause. Several minutes later, firefighters called to a fire in the 3200 block of Keokuk. No injuries in terms of reports at that house either. The cause of this fire is not yet known. Well, tomorrow, Missouri lawmakers return to work in Jefferson City after a short spring break.
On deck in the Senate, a heated fight for control of the St. Louis Police Department. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here with the new developments on how much this could cost you, Missouri taxpayers. Mark?
And Mike, Mayor Tashara Jones calls herself a recovering legislator. She was in the Missouri House back when the state gave St. Louis control of its own police force, but her days in Jefferson City aren't behind her just yet. After an off week at the State House, the mayor is preparing for an intense political battle that could define the rest of her term in office.
Fortunately, the Missouri legislature is on spring break, so we can take a bit of a breather this week.
When the Missouri General Assembly gavels in Monday, the mayor will pick back up where she left off, advocating against a state takeover of the city police department.
We all know that this isn't about public safety, it's about power and control. They want to take us back to the 1800s, to a time when the Union-leading cities had to fight the Confederate-leaning state.
At a press conference last week, Jones reminded voters about the policy's ugly history and warned returning to that setup could come with a costly future.
They would have to purchase all of our equipment, all of our buildings, all of our cars. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, and none of that has been allocated in either of these bills that are moving in the Senate or on the House side.
The proposals say otherwise. They would force the city to hand over ownership of all indebtedness and assets or face daily fines of $1,000. And they say the state shall accept responsibility, ownership, and liability for contractual obligations. The mayor's office just reached a deal on a new contract with the police union, giving new recruits a $4,000 raise up to a starting salary of $54,000. Veteran officers got a bigger bump. The fine print says the entire contract, not just those pay raises, becomes null and void if the state takes control.
If the state were to take control, the raises that have just been granted to officers would be taken away. And so I'm not sure that the General Assembly wants to actually defund our police department.
The new Board of Police Commissioners would have to start over negotiating a new union contract. But who would pay for the benefits?
The state cannot dictate how we spend our local resources or require us to spend money. They would have to pick up the bill.
Board of Aldermen President Megan Green says if a court determines the state takeover created an unconstitutional unfunded mandate,
it would be the entire state that would have to pay for it.
The strategy seems straightforward here. St. Louis Democrats hope they can rile up some regional resentment, paint this takeover of the police department as a bailout of a big city, and have some rural Republicans rethink this plan. The mayor's office says the police department's operating budget costs about $140 million a year. You throw in the health insurance and pension benefits. The budget director says that could add on another tens of millions of dollars to the price tag. The police union is backing this transition. They express confidence it would all survive challenges in court. Leave that price tag with the city.
A sister's mission to heal families.
Don't let anybody tell you you aren't important in the life of your child.
The woman making a difference by breaking the cycle of absentee parents. Cash concerns. After 2 banks collapse, could it happen to yours? And is all of your money safe? Tonight, we verify.
An active weather week is ahead after tomorrow. We are tracking areas of heavy rain and thunder expected later this week.
Breaking the cycle of absentee and non-involved fathers is the mission of the Fathers and Family Support Center in St. Louis. But they couldn't do it without dedicated workers and volunteers, including a local woman determined to make a difference.
This is my 141st class at Fathers and Family Support Center.
It's graduation night at University City High School.
Miss Carrie Trinkle.
But these graduates aren't from U-City, and they don't go to high school.
I started this program to become a better mommy, and that's exactly what I've done.
They all just finished the 6-week family formation program at the Fathers and Family Support Center.
We made it, y'all.
And no one got more hugs this night
Awesome, Alan.
than Sister Carol Schumer.
Don't let anybody tell you you aren't important in the life of your child.
For more than 2 decades, Sister Schumer of the Daughters of Charity has been leading the Support Center's parenting class.
Nobody was teaching parents how to be parents, because the only way we learn how to be a parent is by who parented us.
Sister Schumer is a former teacher and school principal who came to the center as a volunteer. The center's mission is to improve the lives of children.
Our values come through
by empowering uninvolved, non-custodial fathers, and now mothers,
you can get through, okay,
to become responsible, involved parents.
Right. Many of them have been incarcerated and are here because they need jobs, they need help, they need to get reestablished.
I ended up in prison because of a robbery. And it was just a point in my life to where I was just doing whatever for attention and trying to fill a void.
31-year-old Myron McGee came here determined to turn his life around and become a better parent to his 11-year-old son.
Everything else that's gone before.
He admits it was a bit awkward at first to hear parenting advice from a nun.
Once she started talking and teaching class, it was obvious that she knew what she was talking about.
What I try to get them to realize is that the most important thing you can give your children is yourself. So don't ever not go see your children without thinking you don't have anything to give them.
Because you're the stability, you're the security.
Since she started, the Support Center says Sister Carol has touched the lives of nearly 20,000 fathers. And that includes recent graduate Brian Lewis.
I'm no longer in the negative space where I was. I don't feel the fear that comes a lot. I'm feeling much more excited about the new path I have ahead.
I appreciate y'all time here.
Graduation night is a chance to say goodbye to each other and hello to a new beginning.
I have to tell you, the graduations are just wonderful because so many of these men have not finished anything.
I have the skills and the resources to be the best man and the best father for my family. Thank you.
I thank God for this.
Helping parents understand the present of their presence.
The people she helps go on to help their families, their communities. It's a cycle upward.
I think we need to give our graduates another standing ovation.
Sister Carol Schumer shining a light for struggling parents so they can see a brand new path.
She's an amazing woman.
If you'd like to help the Fathers and Family Support Center, we can link you to their website when you go to this story on KSDK.com. And a reminder, if you know someone inspiring and making a difference, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com.
Tomorrow is the first day of spring, but an early celebration took place early this morning at Cahokia Mounds. Dozens gathered at the Woodhenge reconstruction for a spring equinox sunrise observance. They learned about the discovery and significance of Woodhenge as a pre-Columbian calendar. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is joining us now with the weather first forecast. Scott?
Well, we did not have a problem with sunshine, but boy, was it cold this morning. Temperatures down around 20 in the teens for some of us. A lot of people hitting the road for spring break, maybe taking to the air too. The good news is things out at Lambert have been moving along fairly smoothly and the weather has cooperated, albeit pretty cold. Darren from Grubville shared this with us this morning on his weather station, down to 16 degrees and just enough of a breeze to drop those wind chills into the single digits. This was the cold scene. Looking back towards St. Louis as the sun was coming up this morning, even in Forest Park, it was down around 22 degrees. Awfully cold for us to start. How about those lows in and around the metro area? 19 in Baldwin, 18 in Arnold and Pacific, 17 in Wentzville. We had Shiloh coming in at 20, make it 19 degrees, and 19 down at Peevely as well. Right now, temperatures are mostly in the mid-20s. Coldest temperatures are going to happen over the next couple of 3 hours, and then we're just going to kind of plateau there as we head through the remainder of the night and as the winds pick up a little bit out of the south. Right now down to 33 degrees in St. Louis. Overnight lows, low to mid-20s. We do have that south breeze that tends to keep us a little warmer overnight tonight than what we saw early this morning, but it's still cold. Make no mistake about it. In fact, that cold air now encompassing much of the south. Freeze warnings all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Out west, more active weather pushing onshore into California through the Intermountain region every time we've seen this, and especially when it's been accompanied by that atmospheric river, all this moisture feeding right over the Pacific into the West Coast. We've seen significant weather here, and this system will pull our way as we head through the next couple of days. No problems for your Monday. We're talking temperatures going back into the mid-50s for highs. We will be on the dry side. Tuesday, things change. We will be watching rain moving in from the west. Initially, it'll be scattered, but after lunchtime through the afternoon, early evening, looks like it's widespread showers. Then they scatter out by later Tuesday night and into early Wednesday. Then we're moving into Thursday. While there's a chance of showers on Wednesday, Thursday, you have this front coming into the area, stalling just north of St. Louis. We will see showers and thunderstorms with some heavy rainfall along that front, taking us into Thursday night. And then by Friday afternoon, most of that shifts south and east of St. Louis, and temperatures back off a little bit as we head towards the weekend. But next weekend won't be as cold as this weekend. How much rain? Well, that's a good question. Most of it that really amounts and adds up is going to happen Thursday into Thursday night and early Friday morning, 1.5 to 2 inches. For most of us, temperatures will be near 70 by Thursday, and then we'll back it off a bit Friday into the mid-50s and close to average near 60 over the weekend. But we will get back to 57 after our chilly start tomorrow, and enjoy the sunshine tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have some warmer temperatures.
Yes.
Scott, thanks. Well, financial fears over recent bank collapses. We verify how much of your money is safe. Right now, a state of emergency is in effect in the city of Miami Beach, Florida, after 2 deadly shootings during the height of spring break. Officials are also imposing a midnight curfew. Local radio personality called for a 24-hour ceasefire to ensure students stay safe. City officials are expected to impose additional restrictions to control large and unruly crowds.
We could be just hours away from an American first, the indictment of a former president. In a social media post this weekend, former President Donald Trump said he will be arrested on Tuesday and called on his supporters to protest. No criminal charges have been filed, but he referenced the investigation in New York State into an alleged hush money scheme involving adult film star Stormy Daniels. Tonight, former Vice President Mike Pence calls the potential move a political prosecution.
The idea of indicting a former president of the United States is deeply troubling to me, as it is to tens of millions of Americans, and particularly happening in what appears to be a politically charged environment in New York.
Pence, who says his former boss's words endangered his family on January 6th, added there's no tolerance for any violence. Democrats say the former president's push to protest his potential arrest is reckless.
Tonight, a new study finds 186 more banks are vulnerable of failure if at least half of its depositors withdraw their funds. That's according to a recent paper by economists published in the Social Science Research Network. The findings come after the collapse of 2 banks last week.
And this has many wondering about the safety of their own money. Brandon Lewis from the Verify team looks into how much of your deposits are insured.
The number of people searching for an answer to the question, should I pull my money out of the bank, spiked over the last few days following the collapse of Silicon Valley and Signature banks. So, is your money safe at the bank? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the Federal Reserve, and Associate Dean David Eli with San Diego State University's Fowler College of Business. Almost all banks pay the FDIC for insurance. This ensures that in the unlikely event of a bank failure, deposits under $250,000 per account holder are protected. This applies to checking, savings, and money market accounts, certificates of deposit, cashier's checks, money orders, and negotiable order of withdrawal, or NOW accounts. So, yes, if you have less than $250,000 in each account, your money is safe, and there's nothing to worry about. If you have more than the limit, then Eli suggests spreading your money to different types of accounts, since each one is protected up to $250,000. So, why were people panicking after SVB collapsed? 9 in 10 account holders at the bank had more than $250,000 in their accounts, meaning they were largely uninsured until the FDIC stepped in and said they would protect all of their money. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
What can we verify for you? Please send an email. The email address is verify@ksdk.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Local artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs were celebrated today in Midtown. The Kinfolk and Them second annual Notice Arts Expo wrapped up about 2 hours ago at the On Guard Arts Hotel and Grand Center. Guests experienced live music, art, poetry, vendors, and food.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10.
Please start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m., runs till 7 a.m. And now here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.